With a flourish, she extracted the $500 bill from the counter, her hands still bearing the vibrant marks of paint. The man beside her let out a hearty chuckle, as if retreating like that had bestowed upon him the fortune of a lifetime. Unbeknownst to the bustling crowd, the tattered paper bag she clutched went unnoticed, while the security guard's wary gaze lingered momentarily, a silent acknowledgement of something amiss. In a mere 3 minutes, the thunderous roar of military vehicles erupted onto the scene, sealing off the entire parking lot with an air of undeniable authority. Who was this seemingly unremarkable woman? What could have possibly compelled such a straightforward transaction to ignite a military response? Welcome to Great Man, where your journey begins. Let us delve into the depths of truth and reveal the hidden narrative that lies beneath the surface. Clara Flores, at the age of 35, embraced the vibrant world of freelance house painting in the picturesque suburbs of Missouri. Her visage eternally adorned with a constellation of paint flecks. She adorned herself in humble faded jeans and well-worn sneakers, relics of countless job sites that whispered tales of hard work and perseverance. The canvas jacket she donned throughout the seasons was a tapestry of every hue she had ever embraced in her artistic journey. Each weekend, Clara made her way to the local bank where she would deposit her humble savings earnings from her artistic endeavors, whether it be painting a garage, a fence, or a spare room. $20 here, $50 there, modest sums that embodied the fruits of diligent labor. The bank employees knew her visage well, yet her name remained a fleeting shadow in their minds. She existed merely as a shadow in the vibrant tapestry of their bustling lives, the silent artist who bore the weight of her solitude without a whisper of discontent as she stood in line. On that fateful Saturday morning, Clara strode into the bank, a paper bag tightly sealed with packing tape clutched in her hands. With a determined stride, she made her way to the counter, her voice steady as she requested the precise sum of $500 to be withdrawn. "I require it in 20s and 10s, if you please," she murmured gracefully, sliding her ID across the counter. The impeccably attired gentleman standing next to her wore a sly smirk, his expression dripping with confidence and intrigue. "Individuals such as yourself must feel as though they've struck gold bearing such a fortune in cash." Clara remained silent, her gaze fixed ahead as the teller diligently attended to her request. A young bank employee leaned in close to her colleague, her voice barely above a whisper. "That money doesn't seem clean. Just look at her." The teller. Rachel observed Clara's hands roughened and adorned with flecks of white paint nestled beneath her fingernails. In stark contrast to her colleagues, a pang of shame coursed through Rachel as she sensed their piercing judgment. "Here is your withdrawal, Miss Flores." She declared, her fingers deftly counting the crisp bills with an air of precision. Clara nodded, her movements deliberate, as she tenderly tucked the money into her weathered paper bag. In a moment that seemed almost casual, she gracefully slid a small, folded note across the counter, as if it were a secret waiting to be unveiled. "Could you ensure this reaches the right person?" she implored softly. Before Rachel could utter a single question, Clara pivoted on her heel and strode away, leaving her receipt behind as if it were of no consequence. With a sense of intrigue, Rachel delicately unfolded the note, intending to tuck it away, when the first line seized her attention with an undeniable force. "In this critical moment, should any soul from Unit 27B have endured, I implore you to send forth the emergency code 093A to the number provided below without delay." What lay beneath was a fax number belonging to a military regional office, accompanied by a mere signature HF. With her heart pounding in her chest, Rachel felt the weight of urgency pressing down upon her. Fearing that this could indeed be a genuine military crisis, she swiftly dispatched the faxes, as directed, her resolve unwavering. Precisely 12 minutes later, a sleek black SUV adorned with military plates glided to a halt outside, trailed by 2 additional vehicles. A group clad in civilian attire yet exuding an undeniable military presence strode into the bank, brandishing an official lockdown order from the Northern Command Post. Whispers of unease rippled through the crowd as anxious hands instinctively grasped for their phones. Could this be a heist unfolding before our very eyes? A whisper danced through the air. "Do we find ourselves in peril?" inquired another with a sense of urgency. Yet the commanding officer who emerged from the lead vehicle bore no scowl, nor did he bellow commands. Instead, he wore a smile that seemed to radiate relief. Have you ever felt the weight of judgment cast upon you solely based on your appearance? Indeed, I have traversed that path. We weave tales such as this, where the facade may be ridiculed, yet within resides an extraordinary depth of compassion. If you hold these tales in high regard, remain by our side. From the depths of the command vehicle, a figure stepped forth, Major Logan Hunt. Clad in civilian attire, yet adorned with the emblem of special operations, he commanded attention and respect in equal measure. He strode confidently into the bank, laid an envelope upon the counter with deliberate grace, and in a voice steady yet piercing inquired, "Who sent a fax from here this morning?" With a tremor of uncertainty, Rachel lifted her hand, a delicate gesture that spoke volumes of her inner turmoil. Indeed, we adhered closely to the directives laid out in the note. The Major inclined his head, a gentle warmth spreading across his features. "And the sender is an individual to whom we have been indebted for our gratitude for nearly a decade." Silence enveloped the bank. Customers and staff cast bewildered looks at one another, their expressions a tapestry of uncertainty. A young boy pulled at his mother's sleeve, his voice rising with curiosity. "Who is she?" Major Hunt pivoted his gaze, sweeping over the assembled crowd, ready to command their attention. "She is the remarkable woman who, with nothing but a can of white paint, orchestrated the salvation of a unit of 27 brave soldiers." He recounted a harrowing tale from 9 years past when a training exercise spiraled into chaos due to erroneous coordinates. A special operations team found themselves disoriented and ensnared within a civilian zone perilously close to a chemical plant. Communications were ensnared in chaos while a sinister plume of toxic gas began to seep from a breached section of the facility. We were devoid of night vision equipment, stripped of gas masks and utterly helpless to summon extraction. Hunt recalled his voice descending into a hushed reverie, haunted by the weight of the memory. The fog enveloped us in a shroud so dense that visibility was reduced to mere inches, as if the world beyond had vanished entirely. We stumbled forward, shrouded in ignorance, toward what would soon reveal itself as a perilous containment zone rife with deadly concentrations that would haunt our very souls. Clara, immersed in her craft as a painter at a nearby construction site, had caught sight of the lost soldiers. With unwavering resolve, she wielded her white paint, crafting a luminous trail that beckoned the weary away from peril. Each directional arrow and cautionary mark she laid down became a beacon of hope, guiding the entire unit toward the sanctuary of safety. She remained a shadow. Hunt continued, never stepping into the light for acknowledgement. We endeavored to track her down through countless avenues, yet she vanished into the shadows after that fateful night. All we truly grasped was that she toiled for a painting contractor, and perhaps her name was Clara. Rachel vividly remembered the hands splattered with vibrant hues of paint. "Ah, that note today." Hunt nodded, a subtle gesture, yet it spoke volumes. It was her way of reaching out, a delicate thread connecting us after all these years. With a flourish, he tore open the envelope he had carried, unveiling the original note that had been dispatched to headquarters via fax. Below Clara's message lay her poignant inquiry, devoid of gratitude, yet brimming with urgency. "I seek no thanks. I simply wish to know, are you all still alive?" The bank manager, his gaze fixed and unwavering, inquired with a hint of intrigue, "What compels her to check now after all these years?" Hunt's expression darkened, a shadow of gravity crossing his features. Today signifies the poignant passage of 9 years since that fateful incident, and just yesterday a misleading report swept through a veterans forum alleging that numerous members of an unnamed special operations unit had succumbed to the lingering repercussions of chemical exposure sustained during a training exercise. An image captured by a security camera depicting Clara as she withdrew money materialized on Hunt's tablet. For years we have embarked on a relentless quest to find her, yearning to express our gratitude in the most fitting manner. Upon the arrival of this note, our suspicions were not only validated but illuminated in a way we had long yearned for, yet could not substantiate. She was the artist who, under the cloak of darkness, became the savior of 27 souls that fateful night. Hunt gestured dramatically towards the paper bag that Clara had so purposefully carried. Thus, she chose to withdraw precisely $500. Our intelligence reveals that this is the monthly sum she discreetly transfers to the widow of the sole soldier who endured lasting injuries that fateful night. Rachel's eyes grew wide with disbelief. For 9 long years, she has been sending money to a family she has never even met. Each month, without exception, Hunt affirmed her commitment cloaked in anonymity, shunning the spotlight of recognition. The very same impeccably attired gentleman who had previously ridiculed Clara now descended into a chair, his demeanor heavy with palpable shame. Major Hunt's gaze fell upon his phone, which vibrated insistently, heralding the arrival of an incoming message. They have found her. She is making her way to Riverside Nursing Home. His voice took on a gentle, almost tender quality. In a moment charged with emotion, Major Hunt, standing before the assembly in the bank, dialed a number on speakerphone, determined to secure the funds needed to cover her mother's medical bills with the cash she had just withdrawn. "My lord, we have ascertained that it is indeed her," the enigmatic artist from the shadows of Operation Nightfall. 15 minutes later, a new military vehicle thundered onto the scene. From the shadows stepped forth a distinguished older man, his silver hair glinting like moonlight, accompanied by a subtle limp that spoke of stories untold. Colonel Walter Mercer, once the esteemed commander of the unit, now finds himself in the quietude of retirement. As the security footage flickered to life, revealing Clara's calculated withdrawal, the colonel's composed facade shattered, exposing a tempest of emotions beneath. He took off his glasses, dabbing at the unexpected tears that streamed down his cheeks. "There she stands," he breathed softly. "The woman who, under the cloak of night, painted white arrows that guided us away from the precipice of doom, preserving the lives of my entire team." The bank descended into an eerie silence, as if the very air held its breath. We had ventured nearly 2 miles astray. Colonel Mercer articulated his voice, gaining a firm resolve. Communications were ensnared in chaos, leaving us blissfully unaware as we barreled toward the ominous threat of a ruptured chemical storage tank. The fog enveloped us in a shroud so dense that the warning signs vanished from our sight. He recounted the moment they were struck by the sight of white arrows materializing on the ground before them, inscribed in real time by an unseen hand lurking in the shadows. The arrows guided us deftly, steering us away from peril and toward the sanctuary of an extraction point. As we finally found refuge, the mist began to lift, revealing the haunting remnants of what had been, yet the artist behind it all had vanished into thin air. With a commanding gesture from the colonel, 2 soldiers stepped forward bearing a small wooden box with solemnity and purpose. Within lay a meticulously folded American flag, its iconic triangle shape a symbol of honor, accompanied by an engraved plaque that proclaimed Clara Flores Civilian, Rescue Unit Special Code 093A. This recognition was granted years ago, Colonel Mercer declared, yet we have been unable to find her to bestow it. They were unable to bestow the honor upon Clara directly, for she was absent from the momentous occasion. Without a moment's hesitation, she departed right after retrieving the cash, racing towards the nursing home where her mother lingered, reliant on that very $500 to ensure her rightful admission. The haunting image captured by the security camera depicting Clara poised outside the bank with her innocuous paper bag, oblivious to the watchful lens, spiraled through the digital realm, shared millions of times within mere hours, all under the poignant hashtag number 500, a tribute to honor. A multitude of veterans stepped forward recounting their poignant tales of being quietly aided by anonymous benefactors, their names forever shrouded in mystery. Rachel, the teller who had attended to Clara, unveiled yet another revelation. Each month she graces this place with her presence, withdrawing the precise sum unwaveringly on the 15th. Even amidst the chaos of long lines and a weary staff, she remains a picture of patience, never uttering a word of discontent. The bank's records unequivocally validated it. For 9 long years, Clara meticulously withdrew $500 each month, a sum that perfectly mirrored the anonymous donations bestowed upon the widow of Sergeant Derek Miller. Miller, having endured the harrowing ordeal of chemical exposure, emerged from the shadows of survival, yet fate dealt a cruel hand, leaving him with irreversible lung damage. 3 years hence, the relentless grip of time claimed him, extinguishing his light. A week following the harrowing bank incident, Clara found herself in possession of an unexpected invitation from the Pentagon. Her handwritten response, though simple, resonated with a depth that was truly profound. Let that honor be reserved for those who have made their way back home and for those brave souls who could not return at all. What I accomplished demanded nothing more than the brush of paint. Their actions demanded a bravery that knew no bounds. Her letter graced the walls of the National Defense Museum, accompanied by a striking photograph capturing her in a moment of reflection, washing her hands next to a can of pristine white paint. A haunting image unearthed from the depths of the construction site's security camera, captured 9 years ago. Colonel Mercer, standing resolutely before the throng of reporters outside the bank, encapsulated the sentiments that resonated deeply within the crowd. In the shadows of our world, the most remarkable heroes often tread softly, slipping away into the night without a whisper of gratitude. They extend their hands in kindness, driven by an innate desire to uplift, only to vanish before the echoes of appreciation can reach their ears. To them, their noble deeds are but the fabric of everyday life, woven with humility and grace. The media pursued Clara relentlessly, yet she rebuffed every request, imploring that all focus be shifted towards organizations that support veterans. At long last, a tenacious reporter cornered her amidst the vibrant chaos of a painting job. With a calm yet enigmatic demeanor, she simply remarked, "I'm just someone who happened to have paint when paint was needed." That does not elevate me to a realm of uniqueness. Rather, it simply rendered me advantageous at a pivotal juncture. Who in the shadows came to your rescue from a fate most dire, inscribe their name, or simply leave a solitary dot. Clara, a ghost of the past, never graced that bank branch again. Yet one fateful morning, each employee was met with the unexpected arrival of a small package, stirring curiosity and whispers among them. Within lay a tiny can of pristine white paint, accompanied by a note that proclaimed, "Let each soul be granted the opportunity to be recognized as good." Though the incident was never spoken of again within the hallowed halls of the bank, an undeniable shift had taken place, altering the very fabric of its existence. The very employees who once cast their judgments upon her now cherished a photo of Clara at the teller stations, hidden from public view, yet serving as a poignant private reminder of her enduring presence. With a subtle grace, the bank, month after month, channeled resources into a nascent foundation known only as HF. A mysterious benefactor has emerged as the leading supporter of a fund dedicated to the families of veterans, especially those who have endured the silent tragedies of training accidents that remain shrouded in obscurity. In the heart of the community, Clara persevered in her art, her brush dancing across the canvas of homes. Each day she strolled homeward, her supplies in tow, the familiar old paper bag clutched tightly in her grasp. Yet now, as individuals strode past her on the street, the air was devoid of smirks or scornful glances. In response, they inclined their heads with a profound sense of respect. Some paused, captivated, to grasp her paint-stained hand. The impeccably attired man who had ridiculed her on that fateful day now approached her at the job site, his eyes glistening with tears as he offered a heartfelt apology. he disclosed with a heavy heart that his very own son had just taken the bold step to enlist. With a graceful flourish, Clara extended a business card to him, the digits inscribed on the reverse side, whispering promises of connection. Should he ever require assistance, no matter what it may be, this line connects him straight to Major Hunt, she declared, with unwavering conviction. Convey to him that it was Clara who referred you. In a remarkable turn of fate, the nursing home that sheltered Clara's mother was graced with an anonymous donation, a generous gift that would ensure her care for the next 5 years. As Clara stepped into the office to fulfill her monthly obligation, the administrator, with an air of indifference, merely returned her check to her, leaving a palpable tension in the air. It has been attended to, she was informed. Clara grasped the depths of the situation. With a heart full of purpose, she seized the $500 and transformed it into a beacon of creativity, dedicating it to procure art supplies for the Veterans Rehabilitation Center across town. On the anniversary of that fateful night, Clara discovered 27 cans of white paint, each one meticulously arranged on her front porch, a haunting reminder of the past. A note was deemed unnecessary. With deft strokes, she transformed the local VFW hall into a poignant tribute, a memorial wall not adorned with soldiers or the chaos of battle, but instead featuring 27 ethereal white arrows, each one reaching skyward, a silent homage to the heavens. When inquired about its significance, she merely replied, "Direction at the very moment when direction is most essential." At times, true greatness emerges not from sweeping actions, but from the subtle act of leaving a note upon a counter and gracefully departing. Clara refrained from withdrawing money not to flaunt her wealth. She was unwaveringly honoring a vow forged in the depths of time 9 years past, and the conclusion was not centered on military vehicles, but rather on the profound transformation in the gaze of those who beheld her. Should you have ever lent a hand to another without the sweet taste of acknowledgement, hold on to your faith, for there will arrive a moment when that very quietude compels the world to rise and bear witness. The most genuine heroes do not yearn for the sound of applause. They are consumed by the relentless pursuit of the next soul in need of guidance and arrow to illuminate the path back to their sanctuary. We unveiled their tale. You bestowed it with significance. My heartfelt gratitude to you.